It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Good morning. If you just woke up now, shoo, we were up a little earlier, but it's fine. Welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso here in S3, and we're about to splash into a refreshing conversation with seasoned dietitian Kerry Seedy about the emerging trend, which is sexy water, which is crazy, isn't it? It's a trend on TikTok, and if you don't know what it is, let's just take a quick look to give you a little update.
So, let's make a sexy water. First step, filtered water from our reverse osmosis machine. Bulletproof, unflavored collagen protein. I'm just gonna dump whatever's left. Then we're gonna do some of the unflavored colostrum. This is called cowboy colostrum. And some creatine, Chroma Wellness, cranberry hydration elixir. This is one of my sexy water staples. And then we're gonna blend it up. The Rainbow 1111. It's good for immunity. The Sakara Beauty Water Drops. And a little sliced lemon.
Ah, there we go. See all of those ingredients? I'm sure anybody has a reverse osmosis machine in their kitchen. Wow. Now, this is a trend and a half, I can tell you. This is why, Kerry, we needed your help, because there's a fine line to discuss between hydration and, of course, overindulging in too many of these. And first of all, good morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Lovely. I hope you've enjoyed your long weekend.
Yes, no, I did. Thanks.
So, I heard colostrum.
Yes.
Which, I mean, I'm going to ask now, that's a breastfeeding constituent, isn't it?
Yes, so a lot of health experts recommend colostrum because it contains a high content in what we call immunoglobulin G,
okay.
Which helps to boost the immune system, but obviously there is the potential for other hormones and that kind of thing as well with colostrum. Yeah.
So you saw all of the constituents of sexy water.
Yes.
So there was reverse osmosis water in there, there was
Yes.
colostrum, there was creatine, there was like a hydration in there, there was a fruit in there, there's a lot of different items. So as a dietitian, loading your water up like that,
Yes.
what are the recommendations? Is that just a good idea to stack in as much as you can,
No.
or are we taking away the purity of pure hydration, which is just water on its own?
Yeah, I think the basis of sexy water trend is really just to promote water intake. And I think one can over-supplement, and a lot of the supplements on the market don't really have a lot of scientific benefit.
Yeah.
Like, for example, a lot of people are using collagen currently, and basically you actually just break down the collagen in your gut to amino acids. So really you're just taking in protein at the end of the day. So a lot of protein you take in contains collagen in any event.
Yes.
So you'll pay lots of money, and you're really just taking in protein.
You're literally doubling up. You're being redundant.
Yes.
You're just buying another supplement because of the commercial value.
For sure.
Ooh, there is something that I needed to know. Okay, let's talk about the health benefits of, let's just say, stacking your water. I mean, let's try and give it a positive spin. With all of those additions of hydration, we chatted about that at length on the show before. It's vitally important. Some sort of, some sort of hydration is good. But then I see there's colostrum, creatine, and there's fruit in there, etc. So health benefits of stacking water, are there any, or should we be keeping it simple?
I would keep it simple, especially when you're adding things like creatine and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You've also got to cycle those things, because creatine in itself, especially for people that are training, you've got to do 5 days on, 2 days off kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there are also risks for your kidney. So some supplements can be dangerous.
Yes.
So I would keep it clean. I'd rather add things like sliced fruit and veg and that kind of thing. But one only actually absorbs 20% of the actual sliced fruit and veg that you're adding to your water. So it's not like adding, it's more from a taste point of view. I think that the sexy water trend is helping by adding, cucumber or mint leaves or berries. It's really just a flavor thing to help encourage water intake.
Which is great, because we want to make sure that water's a bit sexier so we can actually be hydrated, and I completely understand that. Outside of every spa you see, they always have like some cucumber and mint water with a bit of lemon in there, which is great. But let's look at the alternatives. I mean, if we are going to look at sexy water, that's a trend. Not everybody has, as I mentioned, reverse osmosis machine in their kitchen, colostrum, creatine, all of those constituents. So, are there other ways we can make water sexy in a healthier way?
For sure. So I would, like I said previously, I'd rather stick to just simple fruit and veg.
Okay, great.
One thing you must do is make sure you soak your fruit and veg in sort of a salt water rinse before you add it to your water.
Really? Why?
Because there are over 2,000 pesticides on our fruit and veg. And those are directly linked to cancer. Yeah.
So hold on. We need to put that into salt. So salt water
for
and rinse it off.
Yes.
And then
And then, so basically you do a teaspoon salt, big bowl of water.
Yes, yes.
You put your fruit and veg in there, and then you give it another rinse again. And that actually removes 99% of these 2,000 pesticides. Yeah.
I hope you heard that. I hope you just took that in now. That is very, very important to note.
Yeah,
and I'm so glad you said that, and I'm really, really happy about it. But when you look at sort of, obviously, water hydration is fantastic. Let's look at the absolute no-nos, just to make sure we are clear, so that if we want to try sexy water, we don't do it often. Yes, give it a shot, I suppose, but what are the real no-nos when it comes to water? I mean, you just blew my mind with the salt water. I feel like I've taken in so much in my time.
Yeah, no, it's quite scary from a pesticide point of view. So just make sure you're using clean water.
Yes.
I know it was discussed earlier on the show, just safe, clean water.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, if you don't have a reverse osmosis machine, making sure you at least boil and then cool your water.
Yeah.
If you're going to add fruit and veg, make sure if it's out the fridge that you consume it within 8 to 12 hours.
Okay, great.
If you leave it for longer, the fruit and veg actually decomposes and can cause food poisoning. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay, Kerry, we need to continue this conversation in the next couple of minutes. Sexy water is a new trend. If you've tried it before and you've been enjoying it, 0634088863. We'd love to field some of your questions, but we'll continue our sexy water conversation in the next couple of minutes. But, of course, Ryle is standing by with our next guest.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. Expresso here in S3. I missed you. I'm so glad you came back, because we're continuing our hydration conversation. Conversation, of course, and I can tell you now, Kerry CD, an expert dietitian on a mission to decode the complexities of staying hydrated in today's fast-paced world, is here for us. Now, before we continue, Kerry, I just wanted to ask you. I put us in the kitchen for the next chat, because a little earlier, you know, if you have your fruit and veg, and I mean, we love them, we trust our fruit and veg and all the farmers thereof, but of course, you mentioned pesticides and how to clean them off when you consume. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. However, I need you to show me how to, because you said something about salt, a bit of water, and then leave them in there for a while. So take me through step by step as to how to wash the fruit. I just would love to know. I only have fruit over there. I've got a nice little batch of them there.
Okay, great.
Right.
So there are different ways to do it. So you can either do a teaspoon of salt.
All right.
So we have some salt here, or you can even do sort of like a teaspoon of bicarb. But I prefer salt because bicarb often leaves sort of an aftertaste.
Okay.
So basically just a teaspoon of salt. We've got a big bowl of water here.
Is that all you need?
That's all you need. And
you
then
don't want to make it turn into the ocean?
No.
Okay.
And then after, so we'll add the, once it's dissolved.
Okay, great.
Which might take some time.
That's fine. So the glory of TV is that we can just let it dissolve on its own and then leave it there and move on from there. Okay.
And then basically whatever fruit you're going to be adding, so say we're going to add some naartjies or berries to the fruit, or lemon, whatever you feel like making.
Okay, great.
Literally just dunk into the water, leave it for a few minutes, and then basically just take it out, rinse it again. So, for example, for my patients that want to consume sort of salad leaves or salad, then you can even put it in a salad spinner after, just to get all the water off.
Wow.
Yeah. And
okay.
Then, so
this is great. So obviously when you're done with this water, once it's done its thing, you will need to discard it, right? Because you can't use more.
So you don't want high salt intake. So basically once the fruit's sort of done its thing, and this actually helps to remove 99% of those 2,000 pesticides that I was talking about. 2,000
pesticides are sitting on your fruit and veg. That was crazy, but now you need to know. You could add a little salt water and then make sure you wash them off. Now, obviously, just on the topic of sexy water a little earlier, it is to encourage water intake. And I mean, that's very, very important. Now, can water be too sexy, where you are intaking too much water? What are the guidelines in terms of actually oral hydration?
Yeah. So basically, we look at 30 mils per kilogram body weight as a general guide for adults. So say you 60 kilograms, that's 1.8 liters, 70 kilograms, 2.1 liters. Obviously, if it's very hot, or you're sweating a lot, or you're exercising, that increases your hydration requirements. Generally, for an hour of exercise, we look at about like 300 to 500 mils extra. There is the risk of overhydration. So,
I was going to chat to you about this. Yeah.
In fact, I think it was Bruce Lee that actually died of hyponatremia from too much fluid.
What?
So you can push it to the extreme.
Okay.
And what happens is when you take too much fluid, and it can actually drop your sodium levels, that it actually causes swelling in the brain and death. Yeah. So you've got to really be careful not to go the other extreme where you overhydrate.
Sure.
Yeah.
You just made water a little less sexy. Well, I'm sorry, but it's good to know the...
Yes, the risks,
But
yes.
you said 30 mils per kilo of body
Yes,
weight, right?
yeah.
That's actually a very good calculator, so you
Yeah.
know exactly how much to take in
No,
every
for
single
sure.
day. This is wonderful, because, you know, the
Yeah.
advertisements are pushing this, so we need to make sure we get a balanced hydration. Now,
sure.
do your hydration needs change as you get older? Because obviously your muscularity will change as you get
Yes.
older, etc. Maybe some of your needs change. You know,
Yeah.
you go plus 40, plus 50. Do they change as you get older?
Yeah, so definitely. So as you age, your body reserves reduce.
Okay.
And another problem we find in the older years, obviously, they also have a reduced drive to drink. So hydration in the elderly, and they tend to overheat quicker.
Yeah.
So they are at more risk for for dehydration. So in the elderly, it is important that
Yes.
they stay well hydrated, just because they don't have those body reserves
Yeah.
that the younger population have.
This is fantastic. And now with TikTok's trend, sexy water, I think it's time for a couple of final tips for anybody. Now, if we are to increase our hydration levels,
Yes.
what are some of your final tips just to offer anybody who is looking to get more hydration in? They can feel
Yeah.
that slump at the end of their day. Consistency is key. So
Yes.
how do we stay consistent in our hydration?
Yeah. So tips I would say is just to make sure you know what your fluid requirements are. Make sure you have water available and ready
Yes.
throughout the day. Some of our patients that struggle to take water in actually set timers on their phone.
Good
Just
idea.
as a reminder to drink throughout the day.
Yeah.
Just to make sure you're getting in all your fluid requirements, and really just make sure you wash your fruit and veg really well. Remember that 8 to 12 hour window period,
Yes.
if it's out the fridge. And if you're going to add supplements, just make sure it's not anything that's harmful. Electrolyte-wise, I would just go for plain electrolytes without the carbohydrates or sugar in it.
Yes, definitely.
And just to avoid any of that high sugar, high cordial, the cordials
Yeah.
and that kind of thing, the high sugar content
Definitely.
additives. Yeah.
Kerry CD, you're amazing, honestly.
Thank you.
You've given us the fluidity we need in hydration, and you've been a sensation. This is what you need to do. Fruit and veg, pop it in a little bit of a salt bath, a little bit of salt in some water, and get washing if you are going to add anything to your water. But, of course, stay hydrated and stay motivated on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.